You invest $500 every month. That is $6,000 a year coming directly from your paycheck. Now your portfolio begins producing $1,000 a month. That is $12,000 a year coming from the assets you already own. So look at the equation. You contribute $6,000. Your portfolio contributes $12,000. Your money is now putting twice as much capital into the system as you are. That is the first reason everything changes. Not because $1,000 a month suddenly replaces your salary. For most American households, it does not. What changes is that your paycheck is no longer the only major force building your financial future. Now take the comparison one step further. If you invest $1,000 per month, you are contributing $12,000 a year. Your portfolio is also producing $12,000. Dollar for dollar, your assets are now matching your effort. That is a completely different stage of investing. In this video, we are going to break down how much capital it usually takes to reach $1,000 per month. Why the yield you depend on changes the entire equation. What can happen if you reinvest the income? And why protecting that income eventually becomes just as important as growing it. If you enjoy realistic investing breakdowns like this, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and stay until the end. Because the first $1,000 a month does not make you financially free. It changes who is doing the work. Here is the second reason everything changes at $1,000 a month. A portfolio producing $1,000 per month is generating $12,000 per year. But there is no single portfolio balance that automatically produces that income. At a 2% yield, you would need roughly $600,000 invested. At 3%, about $400,000. At 3.5%, about $343,000. At 4%, about $300,000. And at 5%, about $240,000. Those are illustrative numbers, but they reveal why this milestone changes the way you should evaluate income. A higher yield reduces the amount of capital required to reach $12,000 per year. That does not automatically make it the better path. Imagine two portfolios producing the exact same $1,000 per month. One is worth $240,000 and depends on roughly a 5% yield. The other is worth $400,000 and needs only about 3%. The income looks identical. What sits underneath that income can be completely different. The lower yield portfolio may have more room for dividend growth, capital appreciation, or diversification, without depending as heavily on current income. The higher yield portfolio may work perfectly well too, but the yield itself tells you almost nothing about the durability of that payment. And remember, $1,000 per month is really shorthand for $12,000 per year. Dividends and other distributions do not necessarily arrive in 12 identical monthly checks. So once you reach this milestone, the question changes. You stop asking only, how much income am I getting? And start asking, what kind of portfolio is producing it? That is why $1,000 a month changes more than the income itself. It changes how you judge the strength of the machine producing it. For years, the relationship is almost entirely one way. Your salary creates savings. Your savings buy investments. And your investments depend on you to keep adding more capital. But $1,000 a month creates a second funding source. Suppose you contribute $500 per month. That is $6,000 a year from you, plus $12,000 from the portfolio. Now $18,000 a year can potentially be reinvested. Increase your contribution to $1,000 per month, and the total becomes $24,000. Half comes from your paycheck. Half comes from your assets. Even if you are investing $1,500 every month, or $18,000 per year, the portfolio's $12,000 still represents 40% of the combined $30,000 flowing back into the system. That is a meaningful shift. You spent years feeding the portfolio. Now the portfolio can begin feeding itself. And if those distributions are reinvested, They buy additional shares. Those shares can potentially produce additional income. That additional income can then purchase still more assets. Your portfolio has changed from something you simply own into something that can actively help finance its own expansion. But do not confuse that with free money. A dividend does not magically create wealth just because cash appears in your account. The underlying businesses still need to produce results. Valuation still matters. Dividend sustainability still matters. And ultimately, total return still matters. The important change is not that your portfolio has discovered a shortcut. It is that after years of depending primarily on your labor, your accumulated assets have finally become a meaningful contributor alongside it. This is where reinvestment begins to feel different. Imagine your portfolio has reached roughly $343,000. At an illustrative 3.5% income yield, that is about $12,000 per year, or roughly $1,000 per month. Now suppose you do not need that income yet, you reinvest it. Reinvesting $100 per month puts only $1,200 back to work each year. Reinvesting $1,000 per month puts $12,000 back to work. That is enough money to buy a meaningful amount of additional assets every single year without increasing what comes out of your paycheck. Now consider the longer-term scale. If that $343,000 portfolio earned an illustrative 8% average annual total return, with the dividend already included in that return, and you made no additional contributions, it could grow to roughly $504,000 after 5 years, around $740,000 after 10, and approximately $1.6 million after 20. Real markets will never deliver 8% in a perfectly straight line. The point is what happens when a substantial capital base is allowed to keep compounding. Now add your own contributions back into the picture. If the portfolio generates $12,000 and you contribute another $12,000, that is $24,000 potentially being put to work every year, before considering any additional market appreciation. That is why $1,000 per month feels different from $100. The portfolio is no longer producing pocket change. It is generating enough cash flow to purchase a meaningful amount of its own future growth. Once your portfolio produces $1,000 a month, another major change appears. You finally have a meaningful choice about what that income should do. If you are still working, your expenses are covered, and your goal is maximum long-term growth, you can reinvest everything. That entire $12,000 per year goes back into buying more assets and expanding the income-producing base. But maybe you are already retired. Or maybe your financial life would benefit more from using the cash today. Then spending the $1,000 can make sense. It could help cover groceries, utilities, insurance, healthcare, property taxes, or transportation. And there is a third option. You can split it. Maybe $600 goes back into the portfolio, while $400 goes toward your monthly expenses. You continue expanding your future income while allowing the portfolio to improve your life today. And that flexibility can extend beyond paying bills. An extra $1,000 per month might allow you to work less overtime. It might reduce the need for a second job. Later in life, it could help close the gap between Social Security and your actual retirement expenses. That is why this milestone is about more than investment performance. Before meaningful portfolio income exists, most of the decisions revolve around how much more you can contribute. Once the portfolio starts producing real cash flow, the question changes. Do you grow it? Do you use it? Or do you do both? The first $1,000 may not buy financial freedom, but it can buy financial options. Once you reach $1,000 per month, the question should begin to change. Before the milestone, you may constantly ask, how fast can I reach $1,000? After you reach it, a better question becomes, How do I keep this $1,000 growing? Because once the income becomes meaningful, losing part of it becomes meaningful too. If your portfolio produces $12,000 per year and that income falls by 20%, you are no longer receiving $12,000. You are receiving $9,600. Your monthly average just dropped from $1,000 to $800. While you are still working, that may simply be frustrating. In retirement, that $200 difference could affect your actual monthly budget. That is why yield alone stops telling you enough. You need to understand what supports the cash flow. Is the payout sustainable? Is the income growing? How much are you paying in fees? And how diversified are the sources producing that income? Owning 20 different investments does not automatically mean your income is diversified. If most of your cash flow ultimately depends on REITs, utilities, energy companies, or covered call funds, one economic or market environment could affect several holdings at the same time. The goal is not to eliminate every possible income reduction. You cannot. The goal is to avoid building your lifestyle around a number that your portfolio may struggle to sustain. Reaching $1,000 is an income milestone. Keeping it alive is a portfolio milestone. And even sustainable income has one more hurdle before it becomes money you can actually use. Once your portfolio produces $1,000 per month, another reason everything changes becomes impossible to ignore. Taxes. That is $12,000 per year of gross portfolio income. And what your portfolio generates is not always what you actually get to keep. If those payments arrive inside a taxable brokerage account, reinvesting them through a DRIP does not automatically make the tax consequence disappear. You may never move a dollar to your checking account. The dividend can still be taxable, and not every payment is treated the same way. Qualified dividends can receive different federal tax treatment from ordinary dividends when the requirements are met. Capital gain distributions can create another type of tax event. And return of capital is treated differently again. You do not need to become a tax expert. But once portfolio income becomes meaningful, you do need to understand what happens between gross income and spendable income. That is also why account location starts mattering more. A taxable brokerage account, Roth IRA, traditional IRA, 401k, and HSA can each play a different role. There is no universal arrangement that works for everyone. Your age, tax bracket, eligibility, retirement timeline, and withdrawal strategy can all change the answer. And this is another reason $1,000 a month changes the way you think about your portfolio. Before meaningful income, you mostly celebrate what the portfolio generates. Afterward, you start asking how much of that income you can actually keep. A 4% yield is not automatically better than 3.5% if it comes with greater tax drag, higher fees, slower growth, or more risk. At $1,000 a month, portfolio income stops being just a number on your dashboard. It becomes real money that has to be managed intelligently. So why does everything change when your portfolio starts making $1,000 a month? Because for the first time, your paycheck is no longer building your financial future alone. You are probably not financially independent. You may still have a job, and you may still be contributing every month. But now, two forces are financing your future: your labor and your assets. Your portfolio can contribute $12,000 a year alongside you. Reinvesting that income can buy a meaningful amount of additional assets. You gain the choice to reinvest it, spend it, or split it between your future and your life today. And because the income has become meaningful, protecting it, managing taxes, and keeping it sustainable become meaningful too. That is why $1,000 a month changes the relationship. Before this milestone, your portfolio depends heavily on you. After it, you can begin depending on your portfolio, even if only modestly. That $1,000 could help cover groceries or insurance. It could reduce over time. It could continue buying more assets. Or it could simply prove that years of investing have created something capable of performing a real financial job. $1,000 a month isn't powerful because it's enough to retire on. It's powerful because your portfolio has finally become an active participant in your financial life. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share it with someone who is building portfolio income. And let me know in the comments, what monthly portfolio income would feel like a real turning point for you? $500, $1,000, $2,000 or more? Thank you so much for watching. God bless, happy investing, and I'll see you in the next video.